Hi everyone, today we're starting a new project called the tape dispenser. This one's going to go through a lot more of our modification tools, and so let's get started. First we're going to come up to our create panel and create a new component. This one is going to be our tape roll, and we're going to hit OK. So this first component is super quick. We're just going to create a sketch. We're going to make that on the front plane here. I'm going to pan a little bit so I can see a little better, and we're going to grab our center diameter circle. All right, we actually need 4 circles of varying diameters. So we're going to start out, we have a 15 millimeter, we have a 20 millimeter, then we have a 45 millimeter, and a 50 millimeter. So all of these I'm starting in the origin, or right at the origin, to make sure that everything will wind up centered. And then I'm going to move some of these measurements out just to make sure y'all can see a little better. Okay, so we've started with this. We have our 4 concentric circles. From here, we do need to add in some center rectangles. So I'm going to go down to a rectangle and then come down to a center rectangle. So that means that I can start it in the middle, and it'll allow me to stretch in both directions. So we need this to be a 3 millimeter wide rectangle. So my cursor is down in this bottom section, which is highlighted. I'm going to change that to 3 millimeters. And I'm not really going to change anything about the length at this moment. I'm going to come back, do another center rectangle, the same thing but in this direction. Since it's trying to change my length, I'm going to hit tab, actually change this to 3. All right, there's a couple different options for moving these lines from a rectangle closer to our circle. So the option that I'm going to do to get this rectangle to be the correct length where it connects to our outer circle, I'm actually going to go to create, grab the point tool, and put a point right in the middle of those short lines, at least on one end of our box. All right, then I'm going to come up to our coincident constraint and choose my little point and the outer circle. If you notice, that snapped it on both sides. Here, let me zoom out to show the other one. We have the coincident constraint still on our cursor. I'm going to click the dot that I had made, and I'm going to click the outer circle, and now this snaps our rectangles in all the way to that outer circle. So I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to go back to my home view so I can see at the angle, and we're going to extrude. So this extrusion, we have a couple different things to select. Technically, we could have changed some of our lines to like construction lines if we didn't want to do that, but for the sake of speed, in this case, I'm just going to come around, click all of my pieces for my bigger circle. I'm going to click all my pieces for my smaller circle here, and then just these 4 rectangles along the side here. And this needs to be 20 millimeters. So we're going to switch. We're going to go 20 millimeters. If you prefer, so this, in this example, I'm only doing a one side direction extrusion. Technically, most of the time when I build this, I would prefer to do a symmetrical extrusion, which I can explain a little bit later. In the case of where we're at, we're just doing a one-sided for today. This is the first component. That's it. The second component, we're going to hit create, new component. We're going to change our parent to be the entire document, and we're going to restart. I didn't name it. Let me double click here. This is just tape. So this is going to be the tape that actually goes on the tape roll. So we have a visual for a full tape roll. So I'm going to start a sketch on that front plane again. We're going to make 2 concentric circles. This one's going to be extra quick. This first one's going to be 50, and our second circle is going to be 90. Zoom out a little bit here. That's the whole thing. That's the entire sketch. Finish your sketch, extrude it. We're going to go back to our home view. We're going to grab this outer ring, and we're going to extrude it to 20 millimeters. And it should match up right on your tape roll. A lot of times at this point I like to change the appearance for these. I'm going to come back and activate my main component here. As you can see, these look exactly the same. They're made of the same default material, so we can right click and hit appearance, or you can just click A on your keyboard and it'll let you open up the appearance panel here. Down in here we can go through and find pretty much whatever you want. In this case, maybe we could do, we're just gonna pick something. We're gonna pick a plastic, and then we're gonna pick a plastic, just to have a difference for us to see. All right, and this point, we're gonna save it. Make sure you save your work. I'm gonna name this the tape dispenser, and we're gonna save. And come back for the next one where we go through the actual more complicated piece, which goes through our modify tools.